Hello, welcome back there. Some really interesting stuff on the panels. Great stuff, sustainability, touching on the future of whiskey as well. Really great stuff. Also, I think look, we've got a name for my terrible concoction. I think it's a Heed the Brew Ball. Anyway, right, well, I've got the easiest link in the world here now, so I'm going to hand over. It is time for the Big Fat Whiskey Quiz, and I'll hand you over to Blair. Take it away, Blair.
Thanks, Jerry. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big Fat Whiskey Quiz Lite World Whisky Day edition. So we're delighted to be back again. We've run these in person for a number of years for charity. And last year for World Whisky Day, we did our first online version, and we're back again. But we've only got 30 minutes, so we're keeping it super tight and super simple. So all you need to take part is a sheet of paper or your phone to write your answers down. We're going to go through 4 rounds of questions with myself and my whiskey friends, who I'll introduce in a second. And it's all just meant to be for a bit of fun, so don't get too stressed about the answers, just enjoy it. We're going to give you a bit of information about what the correct answers are, so you hopefully learn something too. But it's all for charities, for the Ben and for the Drinks Trust. So please follow the link. Hopefully you've seen that at the bottom to join and donate. Anyone that donates over £5 will go into a raffle to win some World Whisky Day merch. So we'll choose 3 winners at random from the end, and you'll all win some World Whisky Day merch. So without further ado, I think I'll introduce my friends who are going to be joining me. We've got Chris and Matthew and Joseph. Hello, guys. We're back again. This is our second time doing it online, and last time it was 2 hours because there wasn't anything else happening on World Whisky Day because it was all very last minute, but there's so much happening with the Whiskey Weekend. But we're really happy to be back again doing this. So it's going to be a bit of fun. But yeah, lighthearted and simple. The question level's a lot easier than we normally do, because we didn't want to make it too tough. We have a reputation for making it a bit too tricky. But yeah, so we're all here. We're all ready to go.
All set. All set. Let's go.
Cool. Let's just get straight into round 1. So the first round is general knowledge. We've got 5 questions, and they're all multiple choice. So question number 1. Which of these is not allowed in the making of Scotch whisky? A, caramel colouring. B, chill filtration. C, cider casks, or D, tequila casks? So question 1 is, which of these is not allowed in the making of Scotch whisky? Is it A, caramel colouring, B, chill filtration, C, cider casks, or D, tequila casks?
Blair, I've just seen Matt and Joe take a wee drink there. What have you got in front of you this evening?
Just a wee highball. It's
a wee highball.
I've seen some great examples of highball across the World Whisky Day. So jumping on the bandwagon.
Smoky Cokey.
Smoky Cokey. Well, I'm taking one part of your Smoky Cokey, a wee Lagavulin for me. So good stuff. Be interesting to see what everybody else is drinking at home.
Yeah, and do comment in the chat where you are in the world and what you're drinking. Okay, we're going to get straight into question 2, which is, single malt whiskey is created in what kind of still? Is it A, a column still, B, a pot still, C, a kettle still, or D, a bowl still? So question 2 is, single malt whiskey is created in what kind of still? A, a column still, B, a pot still, C, a kettle still, or D, a bowl still? So yeah, do remember there's the link there you can donate to. Thank you very much. Impressive beard. I have been doing quite logged on. Thank you.
Felix, what about the rest of us?
I'm not trying hard enough. Okay, let's get stuck into question 3. Islay whiskey is traditionally known for being A, rubbish, B, smoky and peaty, C, sweet, or D, expensive. So question 3 is, Islay whiskey is traditionally known for being A, rubbish, B, smoky and peaty, C, sweet, or D, expensive. That's a tough one. Okay, let's get into question 4. So Holyrood Distillery is based in which city? Is it A, Dundee, B, Glasgow, C, Aberdeen, or D, Edinburgh? So question 4 is, Holyrood Distillery is based in which city? Is it A, Dundee, B, Glasgow, C, Aberdeen, or D, Edinburgh? Okay, and the final question for this round. Historic Campbelltown was once described as what? Was it A, the whiskey capital of the world, B, Dramland, C, Whiskytopia, or D, Malt Disney? Question 5 is, historic Campbelltown was once described as what? Was it A, the whiskey capital of the world, B, Dramland, C, Whiskytopia, or D, Malt Whiskey? And that concludes round 1. So we're going to give you the answers straight away. So we're going to jump over to Matt, who's going to give us the answers to round 1.
Fantastic. So if we can have up the answers for round 1. we have there. So the answer we were looking for there was C, cider casks. And I believe let's jump over to Dictionary Corner. Joe, I think you've got a little fun fact for us on this one.
Yeah, so everything else is legal in the production of making Scotch whisky. So chill filtration, caramel colouring, and tequila casks. But cider casks are not allowed in the making of Scotch whisky based on recent updates to Scotch whisky regulations, which went against a very recent release by Glen Murray in doing cider casks, which is effectively now contraband whiskey if you're able to get it in the auctions.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Joe. There we go. So that's answer one. Question two, if we can bring that up on the screen now. So again, it was single malt whiskey is created in what kind of still? The answer, of course, we were looking for was B, a pot still. And again, can we head over to Dictionary Corner with Chris for this one?
You can indeed, Matthew. Thank you very much. So a kettle still is nonsense. And while a ball-shaped still might be used to describe a type of still or the shape of a type of still, it's not a designated category. A column still is what you'd distill grain whiskey in, but for single malt, it is obviously a pot still. So pot still was the answer for that one.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Chris. Question three. Again, question three here was Isle of Whiskey is traditionally known as being what? Tempting to maybe put another couple of answers there for some, but the answer we were looking for was, of course, B, smoky or peaty as well. Brilliant. Question four, moving swiftly on. Holyrood Distillery is based in which city? It is, of course, the wonderful capital of Scotland, Edinburgh, we were looking for. And then finally, question five. We had historic Campbelltown was once described as what? And quite famously, it was known as the whiskey capital of the world at the time. Fantastic. So that is the end of round one.
Great. Thank you very much, Matthew. So we're now going to jump into round two. Tell us in the chat how you're getting on. Did you get full marks? Did you get any wrong? And don't forget to follow the link to donate. And every donation over £5 will go into that raffle to win some whiskey, World Whisky Day merchandise. So round two is true and false. So we've got 5 questions again. So let's get into question one. Question one, Irish whiskey has to be spelt with an E, true or false? Irish whiskey has to be spelt with an E, true or false? Okay, question two. Scotch whiskey can only be matured in Scotland. Is that true or false? Scotch whiskey can only be matured in Scotland. Is that true or false? Question three. Glenfarclas classifies itself as a Speyside whiskey. Is that true or false? Oh, we're getting all the slides at once. There we go. We're back. Thank you.
And all the answers.
Glenfarclas classifies Scotch whiskey is true or false. Okay, so we'll jump on to question four. Johnnie Walker is the world's best-selling Scotch whiskey brand. Is that true or is that false? Johnnie Walker is the world's best-selling Scotch whiskey brand. Is that true or is that false? And then the fifth one, and final question of this round. There are 2 active distilleries on the island of Skye. Is that true or is that false? And that's the last question of this round. Okay, back to Matthew for the answers of the true and false.
Fantastic. So hopefully everyone's had just about enough time to get those answers down. Question one was Irish whiskey has to be spelt with an E, true or false? And the answer we were looking for there was false. So Chris, I think we'll head over to you in Dictionary Corner again for this one.
You can indeed, but before I do, Eric, that comment was absolutely brilliant. Sadly, Joe isn't an Oscars host, so he can't change his outfit quite so frequently as he'd like. But anyway, there are any number of theories as to why the majority of Irish whiskey brands spell their name with an E. All sorts of things out there, but the accepted reason largely is that in the 19th century, Irish brands simply spelt it this way to differentiate their brands from Scotch whiskey brands. So it's not enshrined in law, and so no, Irish whiskey does not have to be spelt with an E.
Brilliant. Here we go. Thank you very much. Question two. So we had Scotch whisky can only be matured in Scotland. This one, of course, was true. You do have to mature it in Scotland. Question three. We had Glenfarclas classifies itself as a Speyside whiskey. And this one is actually false. So again, let's head over to Dictionary Corner. Joe, this time, do you have a little bit more of an answer for us here?
Yeah,
and
so
a different shirt.
Obviously, Chris, if you want, but for Glenfarclas, like every other distillery in Scotland, only needs to specify itself if there is a single malt distillery from Scotland as a single malt Scotch whisky. There's nothing to say where the location is or where they're from. So a distillery on Ireland could call themselves an island distillery if they want, or as Glenfarclas do and as Macallan do, two what would be considered Speyside whiskey distilleries can call themselves Highland, and this was mainly because they thought it would sell better in the United States, and that's why they call themselves a Highland distillery.
There we go. Thank you very much. Question 4. Whizzing through the rounds here. Johnny Walker is the world's best-selling Scotch whiskey brand. True or false? This one, of course, is true. There we go. No guesses who Chris now works for. There we go. Getting one in for the team there, Chris. Brilliant.
I didn't come up with that question. It wasn't me.
Question 5. Final one of the round here. There are 2 active distilleries on the Isle of Skye, and of course, this one is true. So very well done to everybody who got full marks in that round. Again, we'd love to hear how you're getting on with the quiz so far. So do let us know. But I think we are now ready to whiz into round 3.
Yeah, so I'll just explain it very briefly. This is a pictogram round for round 3. We've got 5 questions, and all we need you to do is just say what you can see. So they're a little bit obtuse. Matthew's come up with these ones, obviously. They're a little bit obscure sometimes, but if you break down what you're literally looking at, you'll get a distillery name. So they're all distillery names. You should be able to identify them all. But yeah, they are a little bit obscure. It just takes a second for your brain to click in. So there's nothing for us to read out loud. So we're just going to bring them up one by one. And we may go through them twice if we've got enough time. But we'll give it kind of a 30 seconds to a minute of each one. So we'll go into the first one straight away. And we can just chat and drink while we're looking at them. So just say what you see. Don't overthink it. Just say the first things you see, and you'll get a distillery name as the answer, hopefully.
This is always my favourite part of doing the quiz, is putting these together.
And you're very, very good at this. Something in your brain just allows you to come up with these obscure connections somehow.
I think what we should also say is that Matthew comes up with all of these, and myself, Blair, and Joe don't see them really until the evening of the quiz. And so, like you, everybody that's at home taking part in this is our first time seeing these things as well. And so they're absolutely brilliant, some of them.
It's hands down my favourite round by quite some distance.
Oh, it's great. It's great, isn't it?
Like, it's an insight into Matt's mind, and it's frankly terrifying.
And I would say this is probably anyone who's been to our physical Big Fat Whiskey quizzes. I think these are the easier ones tonight as well. So hopefully this is, if you enjoy tonight and you've enjoed these, as a taster of things to come, our physical, full fat, cast strength Big Fat Whiskey quizzes, right?
And
this is very much the light edition tonight.
That's hopefully, the plan. Yeah. Fingers crossed, all going well. We can do another in-person event come November. Great. So let's move on to the next one. We'll move on to question 2 now. So just literally say what you see, and you'll get a distillery name.
Very good. Very good, Matt.
You need to understand different types of cheese in order to understand the answer to this
one. I hope you're going to explain each part of these when we go through the answers.
I will explain how my mind works and how I came up with this for each one.
That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
How are you engaged? you're a genuine example to all of it.
I ask myself the same question, Joe, every day.
Okay, should we move on to the third
a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
And this also, you need to understand The Simpsons in order to get this one.
Oh, got it. Yeah, good.
Bit more obscure, maybe. So they're not the most well-known distilleries. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. They're a little bit more under the radar, maybe.
I'll say the part of Scotland I'm from definitely influenced a lot of these.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. And that's Craig Lachey that you're from.
Yeah.
Okay, let's maybe move on to the next one. I've always liked this one. This is one of my absolute favorites.
Halloumi Stack. Ian, perfect. Yeah, the Halloumi Stack distillery. Yeah, that well-known distillery.
Please, when we go through the answers, I would love if you've got it wrong to hear what you thought it might have been.
Just like this one. This could be the James Ella lock. Yes, that one. Yeah.
Halloumi Stack.
It's admirably abstract. You don't get much abstract things in the whiskey industry, and this does require a lot of thinking.
I mean, I think there's a book in here somewhere. Maybe it needs a bit more fleshing out, but I think you could commercialize this.
Oh,
And
this is my favourite one.
This is
Question
the
5,
absolute winner of every single one we've done before.
Oh,
This
this came out.
a classic, right? This was one of our favourites, I think, from one of the first quizzes we did. So I thought we need to get this one back in because it went down a treat. So again,
Absolutely. I think did you not come out with this when we did this in-person Big Fat Whiskey quiz at Spirit of Speyside a couple of years ago?
It was. You're very right. It's the Speyside edition.
God.
It's so good. It's so good. I think the brand owner needs to approach you for like some sort of consultancy because they need to use this in their marketing. It's just genius.
I think this one, although to some people they got it straight away, I think this was one of the bit of the dividers in the room for I think who the winners were in the end, right? So
honestly, Chris, like after that Spirit of Speyside, I was staying with Matt and his parents just to shake their hands and say congratulations, your son is amazing. This is wonderful to see.
Oh, I remember because we did actually see for Spirit of Speyside before we did that quiz. All of us.
He's over. Yeah.
I think Blair's got tears in his eyes. I think all of us actually saw Matt's pictograms prior to the Spirit of Speyside quiz that we did that year. And when these sort of slides were circulated amongst the four of us, I think at the same time we all put into our group chat on Facebook, we're like, this question is absolutely incredible. That is something else.
Gary's comment there, Jerry's face cloth just absolutely set me off.
Oh.
Okay, super. Right, well, that's the end of that round.
Brilliant. Anyway, end of the round, yes.
So, back to you, Matthew. Let's get the answers.
We go for some answers here. So, if we can have the answer to question 1 up here. So, we are, of course, looking for Mac Allen. So, of course, we have the Apple symbol, also Apple Mac. And then we have, of course, what is his name? Steve Coogan. Again, Alan Partridge here as well. So we've got Alan there as well. So Mac Allen, when you join them together, literally is a say what you see. So question 2, if we can have that one up now. So, of course, the cheese we were looking for was feta, not halloumi. And it's not only a stack, but in Scotland, we call a pile of rocks like that a cairn. So, of course, we have feta cairn. There we go. Question 3. So, of course, if you are familiar with The Simpsons, you know the gentleman there is known as Duffman as the character. Did my best to try and block out Duff on his top there. And, of course, we have a collection of buildings there. Hopefully, you might have guessed that was a town. So put them together, we have Dufftown as well. Brilliant. Question 4. Now, this one is home pride for me. And the amount of times I have to explain to people how to say the village name. I think my favourite is still an American group saying they thought it was a French brand, Craig Lachey, which is definitely my favourite way I've ever heard it. But we were looking for Craigellachie. So in explaining how to say it, I always say break it down. You've got a boy's name, Craig. So we, of course, have Daniel Craig there. A girl's name, Ella. You have Ella Fitzgerald. And then between them, they have a key. So put it all together, Craigellachie. There we go. And then the final one that everyone was trying to get, of course, literally is just Tom in a towel. Of course, from Tom and Jerry. So Tom in towel. As easy as that. Say what you see.
Well done.
So hopefully you enjoyed that one.
I love that so much.
Susanna's watching this in the other room, and after that first question, I heard a shout of disapproval because she clearly got it wrong. But I don't know if she went for like decided to call it like apple partridge or something, that famous distillery in the Highlands.
Again, if you did get it wrong, we'd love to hear what you thought it was.
Yeah.
Again, to give us
the wrong answers are going to be the funniest ones. Absolutely.
There we go. That was round 3. Final round. Here we go.
So on to the final round, which is round 4, which is current affairs. So we've got 5 questions. Let's get stuck in. So question number 1. Okay, the Isle of Whisky Festival takes place at the end of this month, and what is its name? Is it the Fèis Isle, the Corryvreckan, the Sanaig, or Slangevar? So the Isle of Whisky Festival takes place at the end of this month, and what is its name? Is it the Fèis Isle, the Corryvreckan, the Sanaig, or the Slangevar? Okay, question 2. Diageo are to open their flagship Johnny Walker Experience on which street later this summer? Is it King Street, Queen Street, Princess Street, or Duke Street? So where will the Johnny Walker Experience be opened later this summer? King Street, Queen Street, Princess Street, or Duke Street?
You can guess who came up with the questions for this round, can't you?
Yeah, no spoilers. Okay, question 3. Last year, Macallan launched the oldest whiskey ever bottled. How old was it? Is it A, 58 years old, B, 68 years old, C, 78 years old, or D, 88 years old? So last year, Macallan launched the oldest whiskey ever bottled. How old was it? Was it 58, 68, 78, or 88 years old? Question 4. Which Irish distillery is famed for its meticulous research into terroir? Is it A, Windford, B, Fireford, C, Earthford, or D, Waterford? So which Irish distillery is famed for its meticulous research into terroir? Is it A, Windford, B, Fireford, C, Earthford, or D, Waterford? And the final question of the World Whisky Day Big Fat Whisky Quiz Lite. Which country recently introduced much tighter rules and restrictions on how their whisky is defined? Was it A, India, B, Japan, C, New Zealand, or D, North Korea? Which country recently introduced much tighter rules and regulations on how their whisky is defined? Is it A, India, B, Japan, C, New Zealand, and D, North Korea? And that is the end of the quiz. Well done, everyone. And we've timed that quite well. I mean, it's been rapid, it's been intense, it's been a journey. I feel like we've been on an emotional journey there, but we've done it. So back to Matthew for the answers.
It's been way more efficient than our normal quizzes. Yeah, it's been good.
We've learned a lot.
We could have squeezed an extra round in here, I reckon.
Crikey, don't say that.
Eric. Final round then, answers. Here we go. So for round 4, could we have answer number 1 up on screen, please? So the question was, of course, the Isle of Whisky Festival takes place at the end of the month. What is its name? The answer we were looking for was Fèis Isle. So it was A for question 1. Question 2, please. We had, of course, Diageo are opening their flagship Johnny Walker experience on which street later this summer? The answer here, of course, was Prince's Street. Let's head over to Dictionary Corner for this one. So, Chris, I think you might be the man for this.
I'm absolutely not. I think that's going to... is that not going to Joe, this one? I thought I was doing a different one.
No, it's definitely you.
Definitely me. That's fine. I'll ad-lib it. That's fine.
New job.
No, it is Prince's Street in Edinburgh. It'll be in the west end of Prince's Street. So the other answers there were just different parts of royalty. But no, it will be opening at the west end of Prince's Street later this summer. So I hope you all come and experience it.
That was a good insight into street names. Thank you.
Yeah. I just thought this was a shameless plug for you, Chris. I definitely thought you were down for that.
Thanks for that. Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
So question 3, if you can have that one up, please. So last year, Macallan launched the oldest whiskey ever bottled. How old was it? The answer we were looking for there was C. It was 78 years old. Wow, what an age. I'd love to get a taste of that one. Question 4. We've got which Irish distillery is famed for its meticulous research into terroir? The answer we're looking for here was D, Waterford. And again, I think we're hopping over this time to Joe in Dictionary Corner.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be answered by me, and hopefully the Johnny Walker experience is better than Chris's answer there. So, yeah, so Waterford they're founded by Mark Renier, formerly of Bruichladdich, and they are specialising in terroir-based research into different farms and the effects of the barley on whiskey distillates and then what they release thereafter. It's a really, really cool and interesting project, and if you've not tried anything they've done, I would highly recommend it. And the Johnny Walker experience.
Grand. And then question 5, final question of our Big Fat Whisky Quiz Lite for this year. So, which country recently introduced much tighter rules and regulations on how their whisky is defined? The answer, of course, was B, Japan. So about time as well, right? I think it's great to see some new rules coming in there. I think big changes ahead for them. So there we go. That is it for...
We timed that brilliantly. 27 minutes and 15 seconds. I mean, we were given half an hour and we've done it. We've smashed it. So well done. So yeah, tell us what your score was. Please, consider donating to the Drinks Trust. Obviously, this is a tough time for the hospitality industry, and the Drinks Trust do amazing, amazing work supporting the hospitality industry. So every little counts. As we said, anyone that donates over £5 will go into a raffle to win some World Whisky Day prizes. But this was just meant to be a bit of fun. It's just meant to, hopefully you've learned something interesting. Hope you've had a laugh. I've had a good laugh there about Jerry Facecloth. I'm never going to forget that. But yeah, we just hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully the next time we get to do this, it will be in person with you guys. We'll be all together, and we'll have everyone else that wants to come along to the event as well. And yeah, we'll just keep doing it because we know that people enjoy this. It's a bit geeky, it's a bit funny, and yeah, some great results. 18 out of 20. That's not bad, Felix. Good effort.
Was there any 20?
Great, good.
20 out of 20.
Anyone bold enough to say that they got full marks? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But don't worry if you didn't do well. It's just meant to be a bit of fun. But as part of the World Whisky Day weekend, we thought it'd be nice to do a bit of the quiz as well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been great fun. It's always great for us as well. The four of us putting these questions together and researching.
What it all came about was we were,
But yeah, Blair, you can explain this better than me about how this whole thing came about. Yeah.
Yeah, we a couple of years ago now, we were saying, wouldn't it be fun? Well, it wasn't that. It was we were all out for drinks and we were trying to outdo each other with ridiculous questions. And
That's
I remember
right,
it was Joe that said, "What was the first distillery to get a telephone line?" And I was like, "Who the hell knows that? Why would anyone know that?" But Joe
Glenlivet, right?
And then suddenly it just evolved from there, and we suddenly realized that actually there's quite a few other people who are in the trade with us, who are our peers, who also get quite excited about this kind of silly, geeky side of whiskey. And it's nice to have a safe space to do that, and that's what the quiz was always about, and raising money for charity at the same time. So it's nice to be able to continue to do that, and hopefully the next time it will be in person.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great. Like I said before, it's great fun for us for putting these questions together, but the nights that we've done it prior to this, and obviously prior to World Whisky Day last year, when we actually had questions and quizzes to do in person, it's just a great opportunity for the industry or just fans of Scotch whisky that are based in Edinburgh, Glasgow, whatever, or up in Speyside, when we were up in Speyside doing it, to come together. And obviously going forward, once we're hopefully all vaccinated up to the eyeballs, we're able to take the quiz around Scotland again. And, I think, Blair, you can maybe talk to the opportunities we've had to maybe do it south of the border as well and take it, further. But like you say, it's just a great night where people that love whiskey can all come together. It's just a big community thing.
And we've always raised,
whiskey lovers come together and just have a lot of fun.
We've always raised.
It's all for charity. That's the thing. It's all for charity. It's great. Yeah.
And everyone chips in. All the brands have been amazing at supporting it with prizes and donations in the past as well.
Absolutely.
So let's just keep doing it because it's a lot of fun.
In 4 months, we'll make up for the light edition as well. We'll do a cash strength.
Yeah, we'll do cash strength next time.
Afterwards. It's going to be
the cash strength version of this is going to be no holds barred. So anybody tonight that's getting over kind of 15 out of 20, if you come to the cash strength version and you get anything over 50%, you'll be doing well. We'll be putting out some really hard questions.
You remember we did have one time a question which was, what's the difference in grams between a 2000 Glencairn
That's right.
and a modern Glencairn?
I remember that. I absolutely remember that. Yes, it was.
It's the kind of questions that there's some sort of problem if you know the answer to those kind of questions. You shouldn't. It's not healthy to know that much about whiskey, and that's what we're in a safe space to explore.
It's genuinely a miracle any one of us has friends or partners, or those who like. When you consider that, we can ask a question like, how big is the chimney of the Caledonian distillery? Within 5 feet.
Well, why wouldn't you know that?
You might recycle the question. I know that. If you don't know that, you're thinking.
Anyway,
I think we're being given the signal in the side chat.
Okay, that's us.
So we should probably say goodbye. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, great to see you guys. So for everyone who's joined, thank you so much for taking part. For those of you that got tickets to the World Whisky Day weekend, still, it's not too late to get a ticket. There's events happening all tomorrow and Sunday. But for those of you that are watching us in that just now, there's going to be a short break. And then the next session on stage is going to be called What Happens When a $1 Billion Scottish Brewery Gets the Urge to Make Whiskey, A Tale from Brewdog. So do stay tuned for that. And for everyone else who's joined us tonight, thank you so much. Thank you for your donations, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe. Cheers.